Hi everyone, my name is CJ and you have tuned into the Millennial Wealth Building channel. Now let's just jump straight into it to the topic of this video. Let's pay off debt fast in 2020. Now according to Business Insider, millennials are over $1 trillion in debt. In fact, this represents over a 20% increase in the last 6 years. Another interesting fact is that there are approximately 15% less mortgage debt amongst millennials when compared to Gen Xers. And another interesting fact is that credit card debt amongst millennials are about 2/3 of that compared to Gen Xers. So what's really going on? And how do we begin to turn this situation around in our lives? And one way that we can do it is going ahead and smashing that like button, the subscribe button, and dropping a comment down below. Really guys, this will help me out so much. It'll help out the algorithm. It will really help me to grow my channel. You help me, I help you, I bring you tips. Enough of that. Let's move on to what will be my very first point. Now this is going to seem very basic and just common sense, but it's good hearing it from somebody else. So I'm going to say it anyway. Number one, I will not, and this is for me really, I will not accrue any more debt in 2020. Now, when I say that, that means I am going to do my darndest, my best to not take out any loans, not open up any more credit cards and charge them and not pay them off, not do anything beyond my control to open up and accrue more debt. This is extremely, extremely, extremely important to stay and remain on your goal. If you want to pay off debt, you have to, absolutely have to avoid getting into even more debt. And here's a little story. This is one thing that helped me a lot. So in 2019, I was able to really bring down my debt a whole lot. And one thing that I really experienced was going through the purchase of furniture because I moved out for my very first on my own for my very first time. And when I moved out and I went to those furniture stores, I negotiated until there was like no end. I was successful in some and I was not successful in others. However, when you have the mindset of debt freedom and you have the mindset that your dollar is going to go as far as it can take you, you will do things that you never thought you would do. A few years ago, I would have never tried to negotiate the price of furniture in a furniture store because I didn't know that I could negotiate. And for the most part, you really cannot, but I did it anyway. And I will say in one of the furniture stores, and it's a large chain store, I don't believe in doing that in the individually owned mom and dad stores, no. Pay the price, they're working hard, do the right thing. But in a chain store that has multiple locations, and I know the price, furniture is inflated, like crazy, ridiculous, I'm like, I'm purchasing this much furniture, I need a discount. They told me no, and I kept pushing and kept pushing and kept pushing, and they eventually went ahead and gave me a 10% discount. Now, the reason why I pushed and I pushed and I pushed was really because I was shopping when there wasn't a current promotion going on, and I do know that this store typically offers 10 to 15% off, and since I was shopping out of season, I don't think that I should have been basically, I don't think that I should have been punished because I was not shopping when a promotion was going on. But needless to say, I fought and I fought and I got a discount. So that helped me to not accrue any debt because I was able to get what I want and I went in shopping on my budget anyway. Moving on to point number. So step number 2 is to pay off your current debt. Do everything that you can to pay it off. Now that you are not going to accrue any more debt in 2020, you want to begin to experience debt freedom. And one way to experience debt freedom, especially as a millennial, is to work on paying off your debt. Now, I will show this. I am not being paid for this at all, but Dave Ramsey, this book is amazing. The Complete Guide to Money. It's basic. There are certain things in here that I absolutely do not practice. Like I mentioned a few minutes ago, I have credit cards and I will be maintaining my credit cards. I just do not carry over debt on those credit cards from month to month any longer. But anyway, with that said, Dave Ramsey, he really helps you getting in with the mindset of paying off debt, and he introduces you to the Snowball Effect. He talks to you about saving up an emergency fund. Amazing, amazing, amazing book. It's definitely a basic, how do they say it? One size fits all approach, but apply it to your life, take some principles from it. It has worked for me, it may work for you. Another book that's absolutely amazing after you start getting your debt under control, or you can read it at the same time, is The Richest Man in Babylon. This is an absolutely amazing, amazing book. I'll drop some links down below, but this book really deals and puts you in the mindset of investing. It also deals with managing debt as well, because you do have to manage your debt and you do have to pay it off in order to effectively begin to build wealth and effectively begin to invest. The Richest Man of Babylon, one thing that I really, really, really liked about that book, and it's different than the principles in Dave Ramsey's book, so you get two completely different perspectives, is really divvying up, or I should say dividing up your paycheck and saying that X% will go towards paying off debt, X% will go towards living expenses, X% blah, blah, blah. And it continues. Very good books, very good reads, and it will really help you with paying off your debt. And one thing that I want to mention with Dave Ramsey, the Snowball Effect, amazing. Once used, he recommends that you start with your smallest bill. And it's a recurring monthly payment, but the bill with your smallest, or I should say the lowest balance. And a lot of people think, well, why don't you start with the one that has the most interest, so that you pay less interest over time? And what Dave Ramsey teaches is that it's extremely important for us to begin to feel that we have excelled at something, that we have accomplished something. And the easiest way to do that is to pay off the bill that we owe the lowest balance on. And then after we're done with that, we apply those monthly payments to the next bill. And then when we're done with the next bill, we do it again and again, and the snowball grows bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually your debt is gone. So, millennials, debt freedom, debt-free living. Let's go ahead, let's pay off this debt in 2020, 2021, 2022. It's a new decade. Let's eliminate debt altogether. All right, guys, this next point, I know it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be fun. And a few of you may hate me a little bit, but that's okay, because this is temporary. You are going to have to avoid splurging. And this is something that I am still struggling with, even though I've accomplished so much. And as I began to accomplish so much with paying off my debt, I felt more entitled to splurging. But if I'm going to build wealth, I can't afford to splurge right now. I know it's crazy. It sounds crazy as you pay off your debt. You want to really celebrate and you really want to reward yourself, but you have to get in that mindset that, you know what, I'm not going to splurge. But it is okay to reward yourself with small things, and you have to determine what those small things are. At the end of the day, you don't want to be a slave to money, but you want to avoid splurging as you can see your income is being freed up and you have a lot of extra free money to now go to the mall and go to the movies and go to the bar and etc. You don't want to get into any habits that's going to prevent you from continuing to build wealth, continuing to build wealth and continuing to pay down your debt. One struggle that I have right now, and I'm going to tell you, I love cars. And for me, although I'm very happy with my car is 100% paid off and there's nothing wrong with it. I love cars. So I want to go and get another one. I don't have the money to pay for it in cash, so that would be a very, very bad decision. However, I know that I can qualify for it and I can afford the monthly payments, but where does that lead me? That puts me back to the drawing board of taking a few years once again to pay off a car. It took me 3 years to pay off my current car, and to run right back into it would be a little crazy, would not be wise. So avoid splurging, especially if it's a huge splurge like purchasing a new car. Another thing that tends to happen with splurging could begin to have a lifestyle creep. We do not want lifestyle creep, guys. Don't do it. Avoid it when you see it. Just remember your goals. One thing that can work, putting a sticky note on the door that states, I will not get into debt. I will not splurge. I will not do anything stupid today. That door that you walk out every day, put that sticky note on there with those 3 statements and read it every time you walk out the door, so it's a constant reminder so that you stay on track. Next, I know we hear this one all the time and it's mentioned in many, many different videos, and that is really paying off student debt. And I'm going to also add on to it, and avoiding it. Now, I still have some student debt that I do have to pay off, and I will pay off one of my loans. However, I will keep another one just because it's going to diversify the debt or the accounts on my credit reports. So with that, I'm going to keep it to use it strategically, but I am going to pay off one. And I say to avoid it. It's okay to have a little bit if it helps diversify your credit, because at the end of the day, having a good credit score is important for major purchases like buying a house. Dave Ramsey teaches, again, to just use cash. In most people's situations, it will be a very long time until we have that cash, and in the meantime, a lot of us, including myself, will end up paying rent the entire time. So with that, pay off your student debt, and if you can, avoid it, do the right thing, be strategic, and I must say, be strategic. One thing that helped me out a lot, was getting scholarships. In fact, I didn't get it to this level, but I approached it a little bit. I was being paid for the most part while going through school until my last year, where I had to take graduate level classes. But I was able to hear a lady speak, and I'm so sorry I don't remember her name. She was absolutely awesome. She got paid 6 figures to go to school because she decided to sit down and apply for every single scholarship that would apply to her. And I will reveal that she was of a minority ethnic background, and she used that to her advantage. There are specific scholarships available to minority students, and that just basically cuts the competition right down the middle, because some people cannot apply for those scholarships if they are not a part of that ethnic background. And she was, I believe she was biracial as well, so she was able to apply for multiple ethnic, do I want to say ethnic forward scholarships. And if that's you, go ahead, sit down, take the time. If it takes you 24 hours to do 10 applications, sit down and do it, because I don't know where else you can sit down and take an hour of your time and make $5,000, $10,000, $1,000. It's very cost effective. It helped me. I didn't get rich. I didn't gain 6 figures while in school, but she did it, and I wish I heard it. So I'm sharing that with you all so that it can inspire you and begin to help you think differently if it is available. Do your research and find out what you can do. Student loan debt can be a thing of the past if you are able to do it right. You do have the power to. And my final point, my final words of wisdom, my little tips that I'm giving you all for your financial freedom in 2020 is going ahead and hitting that like button and hitting that subscribe button and dropping your comment below. Sorry, I do have to mention it. I want to make sure that I grow my channel, and I do appreciate it. But seriously, back to my point is really, again, it's nothing groundbreaking, but it's very important. Checking your budget and keeping it in check. There are apps out there that can help a whole lot. One thing that Dave Ramsey, and I keep mentioning him, he's amazing, I must say. One thing that he teaches is really putting your cash into envelopes. For me, I'm like, I'm a millennial, that's too much work, putting my cash in envelopes and sitting down and writing a budget. What I do now, there are apps, and I have a phone, and I take my phone everywhere, and there are apps that help me to record every single purchase or transaction that I make. I put in my salary, I put in the transaction, I can see what my balance is so that I can know exactly where my money is going. Beyond that, I'm able to categorize everything. It's all done. It provides me with a chart. It shows me how much of my income is and where it's going into each category. And it really helps me with budgeting. And the key to budgeting is staying with it. You are not going to be able to budget. Oh, sorry, I looked at my watch. Oops. You are not going to be able to have a successful budget if you haven't done it a few times. You have to do it a few times. It's going to take work. It's going to take a few months. You're not going to get it right the first month because the first thing, you have to track all of your spending. Then you'll be able to see where you can make cuts. You'll be able to see what's just unnecessary and frivolous. And you will just begin to get in the habit of always thinking about where your money is going and if it's necessary for it to go here. Will something else come up? Another thing about keeping a budget is it shows you that unexpected things do come up, and it gets you out of the habit of thinking your basic month-to-month expenses will always remain the same, because it won't. We get sick, we get a flat tire, we encounter more expenses with our cars, with maintenance, sometimes fluids have to be flushed. Things happen, birthdays come up, holidays happen, parties happen, but it will let you begin to see, you know what, a party is coming up, I have to purchase a gift. Well, my budget is here. Maybe I can't get a $50 gift. Maybe I have to do a $20 gift. But get your budget in check. And that's about it for the first video. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. Debt Freedom 2020. We are millennials. We will make it, and we will be masters of our personal finance. Quick disclaimer, and I have to mention it, I am not a financial advisor. I am not certified. Everything that is shared in this video is based on my personal experience, and it's just my personal opinion. Do not take anything I am saying as the holy grail and follow it to the key. Again, I am not a financial advisor. I am not an expert, and I do not pretend to be. Just strictly sharing my experience for people to possibly learn from. Thank you.